So, if you're lacking in skills in a particular area, that could be part of the problem that you want to evaluate. And if it is, I encourage you again to increase your knowledge as well. We talked about taking some time off, stepping away from the business, whether it be an hour, half a day, an extended weekend. It just gives you a different perspective on how you can improve things, in your business. Don't check the phone. Don't read your email. Just step away from the business and get some perspective on the wall that your business has hit. We also thirdly talked about conducting a SWOT analysis, which is an acronym for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And if you haven't done one, we encourage you before the commercial break to do one. If it's been a while since you've done one, I encourage you again to continue to do those, because again, it just gives you a different perspective on your business. A business is never static. The small business world is never static. You don't look at a business today and it looks the same. It's dynamic. It's always changing. There are new ways of doing things, new technology that's coming out. And so you want to identify these things, and make your business fall right in line with them, and to, basically just improve on your business. So fourthly, what we wanted to throw to you today and get you to look at is consider your options. Now, once we've identified the problem, or once we've identified the problems with an S, let's take an opportunity to list out possible solutions. Include worst case scenarios. We don't want to close the business, so let's just remove that. I went through that, and let me tell you, that's a very painful experience. That's something that you don't necessarily want to do, and if you can avoid doing it, I encourage you to stay away. Don't write that down just yet. If your business has hit a brick wall, then we need to look at every possible solution to tear down the brick wall. All right, we don't want to board up our windows. We don't want to put a chain on our door and out of business sign flashing. No, we want to look at every possible solution, to avoid going out of business. We want to look at every possible solution that's available to us to tear down and get past those brick walls. If you don't enjoy working with types of clients that you've been attracting, outline, if you will, what your ideal client would be. All right, so hey, if you are thinking in your mind, I can't get my invoices paid from a particular client. All right, let's find out what it is that we're doing or you're doing to, for that client to feel that it's okay for them not to pay you. All right, that's a conversation that you should have with yourself. All right, so consider your options. If you think that your products aren't remaining competitive in the marketplace, spend some time seeing what's out there. Look for gaps. These Fortune 500 companies, guess what, folks? They're not the only companies that can mystery shop. I can tell you, I have even with my business, I have mystery shopped other businesses, other small businesses. I've actually mystery shopped, with larger companies. When I owned a retail store many years ago, I would literally walk out of my retail store. I left an employee there, would walk out of my retail store, get in my car, drive a few miles, and walk into another retail establishment that was similar to mine. Why? Because I wanted to mystery shop them and find out what in the world they were doing. Why they have 15 customers in their store and I'm struggling to get 5 customers in my store. All right, so that's a conversation that you have to have with yourself. You want to consider your options. Again, so if you think your products aren't remaining competitive, you need to find some time seeing what's out there. Look for gaps. What need can you fill, with a particular product? All right. So again, consider your options, when you are running into that brick wall. And finally, and I think that after all is said and done, this by far is the most important of everything that we talked about today. I think that this next one and this final piece is very important. And that's simply be willing to change. Be willing to change. Change it. Change is good, number one. But you as a person, you could be the very reason that your business has hit a brick wall. Your products could be, your customer service could be, these could be different reasons that your business has run into a brick wall. But we need to be willing to change. If an individual, came into, your business and provided feedback, take that feedback seriously. If a customer is paying you and they're standing in line, and they maybe say something underneath their breath, or if you have a survey that they are privy to, and that customer gives some information, or that customer posts something, maybe utilizing social media, pay attention closer to that. Why? Because it means that there is a gap in your business, and you as a business owner must be willing to change. That, again, I think is critical. Sometimes, as a business owner, you may feel that you know it all. Hey, I'm the business owner. I'm the president and CEO. All right, why don't you take that title and put it somewhere for, temporarily, and listen to your customers, listen to your clients, listen to your business, and be willing to change. That, again, I can't stress that enough, that I feel like that is the most important part of, everything that we talked about today, things that you can do when your business hits a wall. You must be willing to change. If maybe you were to solicit help, you have the Chamber of Commerce, you have the SBA, you have, different consultants out there that are willing to sit down with you, volunteers, if you will, that are willing to sit down with you, take a detailed look at your business. But once they make a suggestion, if they were to come into your retail store, if they were to come into your establishment and they make a suggestion, then I urge you, for you to consider, making those changes. So be willing to change. I think that is critical. If it's your attitude, your own individual attitude about yourself, about your business, about your clients, if it's you, then we need to also take a look in the mirror. We could have a perfect business plan. We could have a perfect marketing strategy. You could have a perfect SEO strategy out there. Okay. But if the issue at the end of the day is you, then you, my friend, are the problem, and will need to be willing to change as well. So these are 4 things that we wanted to discuss with you today. What to do when you hit a wall in your business. We need to, number 1, evaluate what the problem is. Number 2, maybe take some time off. Number 3, conduct a SWOT analysis. Number 4, consider your options. And number 5, which I really think at the end of the day hits the nail on the head, and that is you have to be willing to change. Change is good. Change is difficult, but I guarantee you that it's necessary. This has been Greg Wilson with CSBJ Radio. Continue to follow us online at www.connectionssbj.com. Follow us on Facebook. Our Facebook page specifically is facebook.com/connectionssbj. And as always, if you're interested in advertising opportunities with us, feel free to give me a call, 706-289-7863. Maybe you would like me to come to your business, evaluate your business. Hey, I'm willing to sit down with you. Why? Because I want all small business owners to be successful. Use that same telephone number, 706-289-7863. Again, this has been Greg Wilson. I appreciate you tuning in. And remember that we can do those 5 things when our business hits a wall.